Hello and welcome to day 18 of our 30-day reset, where we're resetting and changing our lives one word at a time. Again, before we get started, click like and share this video. And while you're there, let me know where you're watching. I would love to know where these videos reach. Also, go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. In doing so, it will broaden our audience and allow others to come and take this journey along with us. Lastly, there is a link in the bio that will take you to Amazon to purchase a copy of 30-Day Reset. If for some reason you cannot purchase, please inbox me for a discounted PDF copy of this book, because your transformation is so much more important than you purchasing this book. I want you to come and take this journey along with us. So today, let's get started with the word codependency. Codependency is something I struggled with for most of my young life. The scripture that coincides with this scripture is Galatians 1:10, and it says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." This scripture is where Paul was talking to the Galatians about the importance of aligning one's motivations and actions with a commitment to serve Christ rather than seeking the approval and people pleasing. He wanted them to see that seeking Christ and seeking the approval of God is much more important. If you're going to seek the approval of people, that means you're not seeking the approval of Christ. You have to choose, as the word says, choose ye they this day whom you're going to serve. You have to choose whose heart you're going after. There was moments in my life I was searching after the hearts of people. In the book, it reads on day 18 that today I release codependency. I remember being in a place in my life where my circle of friends' thoughts of me mattered. I found myself being dependent on how they viewed me and what I possessed. Unbeknownst to me, in that moment, I was codependent on their views of me and not how I viewed myself. My thoughts, my actions, the things that I did, the choices that I made, they were not only solely because of something that I wanted for myself, but because of them, because of my surroundings, because of what they expected of me, because of what I was looking for from them. I became codependent on how they looked at me, how they viewed me, and it caused me to move accordingly. That means I wasn't dependent on myself. I wasn't even searching for the love or being dependent on Christ. I was dependent on what they thought, what they saw, and how they viewed me. Your happiness, your peace, your joy, your future should not be dependent on anyone but God and yourself. But when you depend on God and you become accountable for your own action, you set boundaries for yourself and seek wise counseling. These are steps to becoming dependent on you and Him, not anyone else. It says, I loved above what I was given because of wanting to keep peace, not caring that I was depending on them for something I wasn't giving myself. I wasn't giving myself those things, but yet I was dependent on them to give it to me. It is time for us to search within ourselves. And those things that we're depending on other people to give us, I am so frequently reminded in conversations with my husband that we cannot depend on someone to give us something that we can't give ourselves. Some of the words that we've already discussed about being self-care, self-love, all of those things that we want from other people. What are you giving yourself? Do you trust yourself? Are you depending on yourself to just be accountable for the things that you do, to walk yourself through things that you want to go through, and not dependent on someone to just give you that push, not dependent on someone to give you that word of encouragement? But sometimes, as the song says, sometimes you have to just encourage yourself. Do you have the capabilities of just encouraging yourself and not depending on the words of others in order for you to make it? Your self-worth, your self-worth, your self-worth, my self-worth is not depending on what anyone else can give you. Because one thing I have truly and honestly learned, that when a person gives you something, sometimes they're giving it to you for their gain. It's not for you to grow. It's not for you to better yourself, but it's for them to gain from it. But if you do something, when you do something for yourself, depending on yourself that you can do it, knowing within yourself that you have the capacity to go through this thing, to build this thing, to build this business, to build your self-worth, to just be happy about yourself. When you're doing it for you, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Let's not any longer depend on our happiness, our smile, our joy because of something else someone has to offer you, but depend on it from yourself. The last sentence on this says, for the rest of my life, I am who God says I am, and no one else's opinion matters. I challenge you today to look at how you've been functioning, because this is an introspective look that I had to do of myself. I was depending on so many people to tell me, you're beautiful, you can sing well, you can write, you can act, you can do these things. But really, I had to believe in myself. And I challenge you today to stop depending and stop having this thing called codependency on what other people think of you. You have a mind. You have a voice to speak up in yourself. And as we said a couple of days ago, be your own advocate for yourself and depend on God first and depend on yourself. If you have the faith in Him, there is nothing in this world that you can't achieve. No more codependency. I believe in you as I believe in myself, that today it stops. So come back tomorrow and let's learn something else on this journey that maybe you did not know about yourself. See you tomorrow.